It's good to see you this morning. Happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there. Karen has been in touch. Morning to you. And she says, can you wish my lovely dad, Brian Doyle, a happy Father's Day? His gift is pending an Amazon delivery. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Hope it comes.
Thanks, Dad, for meeting me for early morning walks with my dogs, and thank you for taking such good care of my elder dog, Ben, who died recently.
Oh. But anyway, happy Father's Day to all dads watching at the moment. We haven't forgotten you. Just interesting on what to pack and how to pack it when you are going abroad or catching a flight or something. I was saying you've got to pack your essentials, which includes an outfit, at least one outfit, in your cabin baggage. Mike says you don't need much for a couple of weeks, just a mankini and a couple of t-shirts.
Fair point. Fair dues, Mike.
Buy what you need the first day and wash in the shower, just leave items in the bin for the flight home.
I'd love you. Has anyone actually worn a mankini?
No.
Apart from
we don't want any pictures at all, thank you very much. Steve in North Shields says, I try not to carry any hand luggage, bad enough carrying myself. Off to Mexico on Tuesday. I'll be taking headphones and a music tablet, and that's it.
Oh, very nice. Interesting, just a word of warning, because Simon was saying, don't put anything in the hold that you aren't prepared to lose. Elliot says, my son's bank card was stolen at Gatwick Airport before we'd even left to go on holiday. He'd left it in his suitcase. It was locked. Yeah, but those locks, they're not locks, are they? They've either got the little keys on the... It's so because if there's anything suspicious in your bag, they can get in it. It's just a generic key.
Yes, there must be a way of getting in your bag if they scan it and they don't like the look of something.
Yeah, there's special sort of locks so that any airport anywhere can get into your luggage. So there you go. No.
And if you're planning a romantic holiday away...
Yes, where are we going with this?
I better not say. There are essentials that you don't want to lose. There are essentials. No, I'm not going to say it on air because I'll get into trouble. But there are essentials you don't want to lose, and you can end up getting pregnant because you arrive somewhere and it's gorgeous, you know, and you think, this is the most romantic holiday ever, but I still haven't got my suitcase. So you take risks that you might not otherwise take.
All right. Mm. Well,
I'm just saying, that's all. I'm just saying, make sure it's those sort of medicaments that you need to make sure you've got with you in your cabin luggage. I don't know why. See, I don't know why I got into that.
I'm sure there are chemists wherever you're flying to.
Yeah, but not if you arrive at 11:30 at night and it's all romantic and you've got a late dinner at room service or something.
Self-control. Self-control. What's wrong with people?
Not if you've gone on a romantic holiday.
I want to know where I'm going to get some gossip out of you in the next commercial break, let me tell you. The things you never thought you'd talk about when you're working.
I know, I'm sorry about that, on a Sunday morning as well.
I blooming love it. I love it. What makes it worthwhile. Let's have a look at the papers for you this morning. We'll start with the Mail on Sunday. Keir Starmer does support the strikers, says the paper. The Labour leader says he doesn't want to walk out, but a leaked document says he backs the union barons.
The Sunday Telegraph reports on comments by the Business Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, that unions are bribing workers to strike. He said unions had been amassing a war chest for some time to fund a summer of chaos.
Sunday Times leads with the PM saying, steel yourselves for a longer war. Allies have been urged to hold their nerve when it comes to aid for Ukraine.
And I'm finally free to be me. Dame Kelly Holmes comes out in a Sunday Mirror exclusive declaring I am gay. The Olympic legend reveals she's hidden her sexuality for 34 years.
Let's go through some of those in a bit more detail with the journalist Nabila Ramdani and the writer and commentator Benedict Spence. Morning to you both.
Morning.
In the Sunday Express, Nabila, there's a really sort of fascinating interview with Camilla.
Yes, and I like this story very much. I mean, it's essentially Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. She has given an interview to the British magazine Vogue, no less, where she'll also be photographed in next month's edition to mark her 75th birthday on July the 17th. And she opens up about all sorts of issues, including her 17-year-old marriage to Prince Charles, about family life, receiving text messages from her grandchildren, for example, getting older, but also dealing with criticism and
And she must have really felt it over the years.
Yes. Also, her difficulty on getting to use social media, for example, which is quite amusing. So wonderful insights into her life as a royal and her plans as a future queen. And I picked up on some of the things she's quoted saying. The criticism bit is crucial because she explains how in the 1980s she and her family faced a level of scrutiny when Prince Charles' marriage to Diana broke down, and she's just very pragmatic about it, and she says nobody likes to be looked at all the time and criticised, but I think in the end I sort of rise above it and just get on with it. You've got to get on with life, she adds. So I think it's a very British attitude, dare I say.
Well, it's probably the only one when you are faced with a barrage of criticism on all levels. I mean, some of it was just darned unkind about her looks.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she was, at one time, she must have felt, certainly, that she was the most hated woman in Britain.
Well, yeah, indeed, but she's very much a happily married woman now, and she in this interview, it clearly is enjoying life, and she explains how she finds time for her marriage between performing royal duty. She uses a very interesting nautical expression. She basically says sometimes it's like a ship passing in the nights. When she bumps into Prince Charles, basically. But we always sit down together and have a cup of tea and discuss the day. And to me, that's quintessentially English, to have that attitude in life. But, she talks about her love of the countryside. She's going to feature in an ITV documentary and edit Country Life magazine. And I have to say, I'm a great fan of Camilla Parker Bowles. I've met her last week at Ascot, and she was there with Prince Charles, and she comes across as very down-to-earth, very realistic, and I think, unlike many people in the public eye, I think the real key to admiring Camilla is that she really seems to enjoy life, and she takes a day as it comes, and I think she's seriously prepared to take all the criticism with a pinch of salt.
I wonder if the country has forgiven her as a whole.
Why should they forgive her? I mean, that's always been my attitude. It's been like, well, a marriage breaks down for various reasons, and Diana, as much as we sort of venerate her in a way, was not perfect, was she? These things happen. I always thought it was very cruel that Camilla became so disliked, as though she deliberately gone in and broken something up. Well, in a sense, she was sort of jilted, wasn't she?
She was.
Because she thought she wasn't suitable to be a royal or whatever.
Charles was sent off round the world and expected to get over her, wasn't he?
Well, the Queen certainly seems to be a big fan of Camilla, and she sees her as far more than Princess Charles's wife.
But we've moved on. They've moved on. I just wonder if we have. I know I've said this before on the programme, and there are a lot of people watching at the moment who will not forgive her and do not want her to be queen.
How long is the wedding? Have they been married?
17 years.
Where is my life going? I still think it was about 5 years.
I know, it really feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's that much animosity held towards her anymore. I think that, appreciation for Princess Diana doesn't necessarily go hand in hand these days. I mean, perhaps amongst people that I don't know, but most people that I know don't really hold any ill will towards Camilla. I think they just like her that she is, as Camilla says, she just gets on with the job. She doesn't pull too much focus. She does what you would hope of a royal, which is fulfilling their duties with minimal fuss. I think that's actually what we want from them.
I think the most important thing I see is that she makes him happy.
Yes, absolutely. And dare I say, I mean, foreigners are very impressed by what is a typical British type. And Camilla is very much a typical British type. She's very English. She loves the countryside. Her sense of humour is very British as well.
She's a lovely, she's a very nice person.
She gets on with things. So I really like her Englishness.
Benedict, let's talk about St Ives turning into Maplins.
Yes, this is something that I suppose it's probably we're going to hear more and more of, isn't it, as the climate warms up and everybody stays at home a lot more instead of going to the Met. I did hear about going to Kos and Corfu just before we came on, and I am very jealous of
Me too, I know.
I'll get there sooner or later, provided that all the flights don't get cancelled. But this is talking about second homes in St Ives, and it's not just in St Ives, it also talks about places like Whitby in Yorkshire. And in St Ives a few years ago, in 2016, they tried to pass a new policy which was going to safeguard housing for local people to make sure that new building developments would set aside certain amounts of houses for local people that were going to be affordable. And it hasn't really stopped what is the major issue here, which is a very beautiful town and a very beautiful part of the country being hollowed out by people buying houses for second homes, for holiday homes, being occupied for 1 or 2 weeks of the year. this is, I suppose another facet of the housing crisis.
But why hasn't the policy worked then?
Well, the
Was
problem is
deliberate
it
policy?
only applies to
new build?
builds, which aren't necessarily the most desirable ones in the centre of town, sort of on the beachfront or anything like that. That's the older stuff, and that can still be snapped up by people from London and the south of England who want a second home. And that is exactly what's happening, and the people are saying that the town has sort of been hollowed out, except for 2 or 3 weeks in the summer when everybody sort of flocks down from London. I mean, there are lessons to be learnt here, actually, from the Mediterranean. I mean, one of the things that's sort of quite well known in Italy, for example, is what's happened to places like Venice, where lots of apartments have been bought up for sort of holiday letting out purposes. And other places like Positano and Capri and the Amalfi Coast, they actually have very strict rules about what properties can be bought by who, how many tourists can go each year. They're sort of quite aggressive about this sort of thing because they recognise
They've got to be, because it can kill a town.
Well, Italy especially has had entire communities just uprooted because of lack of economic opportunity. So the last thing they want is, of course, the tourism industry to then hollow out the towns that are existing. But if this is what's going to happen in the UK, we're going to get warmer every year. Seaside towns are going to get more expensive. There do need to be very strict policies. I mean, I'm from East Anglia. Southwold, of course, is a very beautiful holiday town. There's lots of beach huts on the seafront there, and one of them went for £250,000 this year.
My God.
That's a lot of money.
Sorry, last year. And that's just the direction these things are going. They're very desirable. They're very, very beautiful. Local people are being priced out.
Yes, and that's not fair. That's awful.
Well, look, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid, for now. Nabila, Benedict, it's been very good to see you this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Just